Have you ever sat in a room full of people who share your last name, yet you felt like a stranger no one dared to acknowledge? I never truly understood what being family meant until that evening, when my sister stood glowing in white under crystal chandeliers, and I was hidden behind a marble pillar like a dark secret they couldn't let the world see. I stared at the back of their heads, hearing laughter that once included me when I was little, before the day my dreams threatened my sister's spotlight. Growing up, it was always her, the favorite, the trophy, the daughter who could do no wrong. And I was the reminder that perfection doesn't always happen twice. They called me ordinary, burden, nothing special. And the worst part wasn't the insults, it was that I started to believe them. Everyone around me took pictures, toasted wine, celebrated love, while I was given a seat with a pillar blocking half the hall because cameras shouldn't catch me in the shot. My chest burned with humiliation, but I swallowed the pain like I always did. That's what they trained me to do. Stay quiet, be small, disappear. You know that hollow feeling when your family talks about you as if you're not there? When they rewrite your story so many times that you forget what the truth ever was? I lived in that emptiness every day. But the story they fed everyone was a lie. I wasn't lazy. I wasn't unworthy. Years ago, I earned a scholarship to study architecture. My one victory, my one dream. My mother hugged me, told me she was proud. My father promised, "We will help you become everything you want to be." But while I was preparing for a better future, they secretly stole the scholarship money and used it to pay for my sister's fashion school abroad so she could chase her rich husband fairy tale. And when I found out, when I cried, they told me it was my own fault. You should have been prettier, smarter, more like her. That night, my father slapped me for questioning them, saying, "We invest where returns come." And still, I tried to love them. As I sat behind that pillar, unseen, unwanted, a part of me wished I could just vanish. Maybe then the hurt would finally stop. But just when I thought I had reached the bottom of my worth, someone saw me. Someone the entire hall noticed the moment he walked in. He had a presence that demanded attention, sharp suit, steady gaze, the kind of confidence that comes from surviving hell and walking out stronger. His eyes scanned the glittering room, past the rich guests, past the photographers, and stopped directly on me. For a moment, I panicked. What did he see? A lonely girl in a cheap dress? A mistake hiding in the shadows? But he didn't look away. His expression softened, not with pity, but with a strange understanding. He walked toward me with a certainty that terrified me. When he spoke, his voice was calm but carried a weight. He said, "Isn't it cruel how the ones who should lift you up are always the ones who push you the hardest?" My breath caught. Who was he? How did he know? Before I could answer, he leaned closer, voice like steel wrapped in silk. "They spent years pretending you were invisible. Let's make sure they remember your face." My heart thundered. Fear, hope, confusion, all tangled together. He extended his hand slowly, like a promise that it was finally my turn to be seen. And for the first time in my life, I chose myself. I took his hand. Every step we took toward the center of the hall felt like stepping into fire, terrifying but necessary. Conversations faded, glasses stopped midair. My sister turned, expecting applause, and instead saw him and me. Her painted smile cracked instantly. My mother's hands trembled. My father's jaw clenched. The groom's family whispered. The band paused its music. The silence was louder than any scream. My father rushed forward, whispering through gritted teeth, "Sit down before you embarrass us further." But the man beside me didn't move. His voice was a warning wrapped in elegance. "You've embarrassed yourselves enough." My father's eyes widened. Recognition, fear, panic. It rippled across my family like a virus, because this stranger wasn't just a guest. He was the ghost of their past resurfacing to collect what was owed. He spoke clearly, loud enough for the microphones to catch. Years ago, this family stole charity funds allocated to talented young girls, including her. They destroyed my career when I tried to expose them. Gasps. Cameras clicked. Guests leaned forward, hungry for truth. He showed proof, documents, screenshots, signatures. He turned to the groom and said, "Your bride knew everything. She even bragged about ruining her sister's future." He played audio of my sister laughing, saying, "Who cares? She's useless anyway. Better she fades away quietly." My stomach twisted in pain, listening to the sister I adored spitting poison so casually. Tears filled my eyes, but I didn't break. Not this time. Then my father grabbed my arm, trying to drag me away, but the man beside me pulled me behind him like a shield. "Touch her again, and you'll spend the night in handcuffs." The groom's family demanded answers. The officiator stepped back. Guests started recording. A perfect wedding turned into a courtroom of truth within minutes. My sister dropped her bouquet. Her mascara streaked like guilt bleeding down her face. For the first time in her life, she couldn't control the narrative. And then, my moment came. I stepped forward, voice shaking but rising with every word. "For years, you told me I wasn't good enough. You stole my dreams. You lied to the world about me. But today, everyone sees who you really are." My mother cried, not because she hurt me, but because she was caught. My father shouted, not to apologize, but to silence me. My sister begged, not for forgiveness, but for her reputation. But I was done protecting the people who destroyed me. The stranger handed me a folder, my name on every legal document, proof that I was the rightful heir to my grandmother's inheritance, money my parents illegally took to fund this grand wedding. My sister's wedding dress, her crown, her entire image, bought with the blood of my future. So I looked at them, calm, finally in power, and whispered, "I lost everything once. I'm not losing myself again." My voice echoed through the hall as I added, "I'm not your shame. You are mine." Then I walked away. The night air outside felt different, crisp, freeing, honest. I stood trembling, not with fear, but with release. I had been silent my whole life, until silence became too painful to bear. He followed me out, hands in pockets, and said softly, "You fought alone for too long. Now let me help you finish what they started." Not as a lover, not as a savior, but as someone whose heart had been broken by the same villains. Weeks passed, and everything reversed. I returned to school, this time fully funded by what was rightfully mine. I studied late nights fueled by a fire my family tried to extinguish. The media exposed their crimes. Their businesses suffered. Their perfect world turned into the prison they built for me. Sometimes strangers recognize me, the brave girl who stood up at the wedding. But I'm not brave. I was simply tired of hurting. So let me ask you this. If those who promise to love you unconditionally are the ones who bury your dreams, should you still feel guilty when truth digs them back up? Because now I know, revenge isn't hatred. It's justice finally getting a voice.